Forward, commitment, claim, futures. Is this the reading we have to do, Bhargav? Like
Yes, sir. We need to start from 69.
69. Okay. So already, Bhargav, we have like discussed forward contract. There is underlying asset for which some agreement is made today to buy that in the future at a predetermined price today itself, right? And that is going to happen on specific date and at specific price the buyer is going to buy from the seller. And we already have seen the example of forward contract. There is no downside if there's a, like, the prices go against what we think. We cannot save ourselves from losses. It's a zero sum game. One party's losses, other party's gain. That means your estimation or your assessment should be very intact when you enter into forward or future contracts. We have discussed about future contracts. We have discussed the like differences. We have discussed margin. So on a futures exchange, margin is the cash or other acceptable collaterals that both the buyer and seller must deposit. That means if I want to buy apartment, I have to pay 25% of the down payment. Then what will the builder do is they will make agreement of sale with me, and then I can proceed forward for purchase of the flat. Other, if to enter into agreement of sale, you have to make the down payment. In the same way, if you want to do a futures trading, you have to deposit the margin amount. Unlike margin in bond or stock, in bond or stock accounts, there is no loan involved, and consequently, there are no interest charges. For this collateral provides protection for the clearinghouse. Are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
Hello. This amount is like collateral what the clearing houses like is with the clearing house, and every day it's a mark to market future. Every day whatever the gains or losses you are going to earn or lose is going to, that is going to get adjusted from your margin amount. This is called mark to market process. And initial margin, I told you, the amount of cash or collateral that must be deposited in futures account before a trade may be made. Initial margin per contract is relatively low and is approximately 1 day's maximum expected price fluctuation on total value of assets covered by the contract. So they will be taking only that amount. What they expect is approximately 1 day's maximum expected price fluctuation, what can be on the total value of assets covered by the contract, and then when comes maintenance margin, that like you should always maintain in your account. So let's say there's an example to explain you what is happening here. So I wanted to go into details of all this and explain. To illustrate the daily mark to market for futures, consider a contract for 100 ounces of gold that settles on May 15th. This is the maturity date. Initial margin we have 4,700, that is to be maintained. On day 0, buyer and seller make a trade at the end of the day at the price of 1950 per ounce. So it is like, right now going like 100 ounces of gold. A contract is made for 100 ounces of gold, correct? Initial margin amount we have discussed, maintenance margin we have discussed, and at the end of the day the price is 1950 per ounce, and here we are speaking about 100 ounces, and both parties deposit the initial margin of $5,000 in their accounts. And then what happens on the settlement on day 1? The settlement price falls to 1947.50. So the seller has gains and the buyer has losses. Are you understanding, Bhargav?
Yes, sir.
Of course, the buyer wants to buy at some price, but the price has gone down, and there's a loss to buyer and gain to seller. What is the gain and what is the loss? The difference amount, okay, into the 100 ounces, the contract volume or lot size, and $250. And then what will happen? This will be added to seller's margin account and deducted from the buyer's margin account. So the exchange will credit seller's account to account for $250. That is in his account 5,000 plus 250 from this trade, 5,250. and in buyer's account 5,000 minus 250, so 4,000. All right.
Yes, sir.
And this is more than the maintenance margin, correct or wrong?
Correct, sir.
There is no additional deposit required. Day 2, it again falls to this, and the seller account is created with extra 250, 5,500. Buyers from 4,750 to 250 deducted, it becomes 4,500. Buyer will get a margin call because 4,500 is less than the minimum margin amount of 4,000. The buyer must deposit 5,000. So how much buyer has to deposit? 500 in the margin account to return to the initial margin amount of 5,000. See, 4,750 they should always, what is that? 700, sorry, right? They should always maintain. But when it goes to that extent, below the maintenance margin also, again you have to come to your initial margin and deposit this amount. You'll get a margin call. Did you understand, Bhargav?
No, but currently his balance is 4,750, no?
No, 4,500 now.
Okay,
More
okay, okay. That's the
550
next
has
day.
been. Sorry.
That was the day 2. I was reading day 1. I didn't see the next paragraph.
Okay, okay. Read out. Read.
Okay,
Then I'll
okay.
take down. No problem. Take your time.
Yes, sir, understood.
Yeah. Okay. So I think you understood day 2 also, right?
Sir, but instead of depositing 500, can she deposit 200?
See, the point here is exchange because 4,000, because it has gone lesser than the maintenance margin.
Okay.
Then the buyer must deposit the amount so that they can reach to initial margin.
Okay, but they cannot. Okay, if it goes below the maintenance minimum margin, then
Maintenance is always there. Again, he is coming back to initial margin.
so in case if he doesn't want to come back to initial, can he just deposit 200 and maintain 4,700?
See, as here, they should always maintain 4,700, but there will be a margin call. They'll ask you to deposit and come back to the initial margin.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. At the end of the day, too, both parties have futures positions at the new settlement price of this much per ounce. Okay. Many future contracts have price limits, which are exchange imposed limits. I told you right now, right? On how much each day's settlement price can change from previous day's settlement price. Exchange members are prohibited from executing trades at prices outside these limits. And if equilibrium price at which traders trade is below the lower limit, trades cannot take more than the upper one and less than the lower one. These are called circuit breakers. What are they called? Limit, right? You should not cross the limit, upper and lower. Some exchanges have circuit breakers. In this case, when a futures price reaches a limit price, trading is suspended for a short period. That happens many times. You want to sell your stock, if it goes to a certain, if it falls, and then what they do is they don't allow you to sell at all. Understanding? They suspend it for short period. Many times it happened. Even it happened with me also. I was constantly trying to sell, take a short position, but they're not allowing. They did not allow to many people in that time. When once the prices were going very much down. Swaps we have already discussed, right, Bhargav? So
Yes.
There's nothing to discuss. Yeah. And there's a small example. Can you read this? Then we'll move forward. Hello?
Yes, sir.
And explain me what's happening. So they have done, this is the fixed payment, this is the floating payment, right? The fixed payment is again 50, and at the end of the second quarter, the fixed payer will pay the net amount of 10,000 to the other party. See, one party is paying 50, one party is paying 40. So in this case, see what is happening. Consider a interest rate swap with a notional principal of this much. A fixed rate of 2% and a floating rate of 90 days secured overnight financing rate and at each settlement date the fixed rate payment will be this much. Okay, that is they are making quarterly, it seems, by 4, right? And the floating rate payment at the end of the first quarter will be based on 90 days SOFR. So here again they are going, this is the floating rate and this is the quarterly payment. So now they will exchange these payments, right? One party will make 50,000 payment to other party. The fixed party will make the payment to floating and floating will pay to fixed. Correct or wrong?
Correct.
The fixed rate is again 50, and at the end of second of the fixed rate payer will pay the net amount of 10,000. Why? What is the net amount here? 10,000. So like who will make the payment? Who is losing? This guy is losing, right? And this guy is gaining. This guy will give 10,000. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Of course, right? The rates have not gone up. See, one, is it equal payment? No. This guy is going to make the payment to this guy.
Yes. So, but why do we do this usually? Why do people engage into swaps?
Because see, you are fed up with fixed payments. You are scared that if the rates go down, you are going to pay extra. The other guy is scared that if the rates go up, he's going to pay extra. So they go into swap agreement. Understanding? Hello.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Credit swaps already discussed. Options discussed. I think options we have already done. Already discussed everything regarding options. Call option we have discussed, right, Bhargav?
Yes, sir.
Diagram also we have discussed. This is the long call. Till here, the premium what they are paying is the loss, and as the price goes up, this is the break-even point, and here there is a unlimited profit for the call option buyer, and same thing here is the gain for seller, and here the loss for the seller. What is the maximum loss for the buyer? Only the premium amount, and the profit is unlimited, right? And the loss to the seller is how much? Unlimited loss, correct? Unlimited losses or the entire price of the stock?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
It is unlimited losses or the entire price of the stock?
For whom, sir?
Entire price of the stock, right?
Yes, sir. So
For
your
seller.
voice is taking.
Now can you hear?
Yes, sir.
See, 50 is the strike price. If it goes to 55, it's break-even point, right?
Yes.
Strike price plus the premium is the break-even. Above that, if it goes to 100, 200, 500, whatever, unlimited gain for the buyer, option buyer. What about the option seller? The stock price can go maximum to what? Zero.
Zero.
That is the loss.
$50 is loss maximum.
Yes. Yes. Put option is also discussed. This is the put option. Long put. When the prices go down, the buyer has the profit and the seller has the loss. So this is the premium amount. Okay. For option seller, this is the gain of premium. Okay. As
Yes.
the stock price goes down, the losses is to the who will incur the, who is going to make the profit? Till here I can say the profit, right? From
Yes.
here losses, correct or wrong? And
Yes.
the same thing till here it is loss. From here profits for the option seller. Clear, Bhargav? Any doubts you have?
Could you explain the last diagram again? This one.
Sorry. See what happens for long put. Long put is the option buyer. As the prices go down, he will be gaining. But till where he will be gaining? 45. The strike price is 50. Bhargav. Okay.
Yes.
Just a second. The value
So your
goes
voice
till
is
zero.
breaking. So
My
I
voice is
couldn't hear
breaking.
you.
I'm calling once again. I'm calling once again. I'm calling once again.
Yes.